Alright, hello. So today I thought I'd take the time and take apart the PS4, show you guys how to do it. I know there's a dozen videos or more out there that show you how to do it, but let's get started. So the first thing really you need is you need to have like a tool set like this that has, I like how the green screen's affecting it. It's green on the back of this, that's why it's lighting up like that. But this tool set, you can look inside, has a bunch of heads for different situation. Mostly this thing needs security screws, so you want to have, let me pop the thing out so you can see. So this is like a Phillips head on this end. You'll need a Phillips head. You need a security bit, which is, where is it in here? I like that. Usually something like one of these bits. That's like a hole in the center. If you don't have that, then you're not going to be able to get into most of the PS4 because you have to have that. It's a special screwdriver they put on like all electronics now, so you have to have a security bit to get in there. So, alright, let's get in here and break this thing out. I won't be taking the whole thing apart because I don't need to reapply the thermal paste. I think you need to do that, like I'd say, every few months, but just for something like I'm taking it apart and cleaning it now, you don't really need to take the whole thing apart to do that. I only did that ever once, was to take it. Well, I've replaced the thermal paste I think twice or so. So first thing you need to do is take off the little plastic thing, put that wherever you want, clean that if you need to, because you can just run that under a faucet or something. It doesn't really need to be specifically cleaned anyway. You need to take out the hard drive here first, because hard drive is one of the main things you want to make sure you hang on to. But you don't want it in the way when you're taking it apart, so this one little screw on the left side here actually holds it in. So just take this out. And it has a little PlayStation logos and whatnot on it, so you just take that out and then put that somewhere you want. Oh, a good thing too, if you're taking this apart, have like a small cup or something, or maybe a medic dish or something like that, where you can put all the screws together. Make sure you don't lose any of them, because by the end of this there'd be tons of screws that you want to make sure you don't. I don't like the motherboard's lighting up on it too. It really doesn't like the I wonder if I should be able to disable the what's it called for this? The green screen, the Chroma for it, the Chroma key. Yeah, that's it. Couldn't think of what it was called. Probably should, but I'm lazy, so I'm not going to. So to get to the heart of the PS4 now, you gotta start on the back of the PS4. So these screws on the back, these are your security screws. These keep the whole thing anchored together. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them on here, and this is what holds the cover, the front and the back on the top and the bottom of the PS4. So we're gonna be taking those off first. These are security screws I was talking about though, because they have a little like indentation in the middle of them. You can kind of see on any of these ones that they're all locked in there. So if you don't have the screwdriver, you're not gonna be able to get into your PS4. So we'll be starting there. Let me see which one I have so I can get the right one to take this out. Can't remember if it's this one or if it's the other one. And then these little silver screws I'll be getting to as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on the top here. But you gotta take those off in a specific order, and when you put them back, you have to put them back in a specific order too. Because if you put them in the wrong order, they don't go back on the right way. So, as you can see, we'll start here. We'll start in the left corner over here. This is not the right one though. This one's too big. We need a smaller. Oh, I think it's this one. It's this T9. T9, I think is the one what you want to look for on a screwdriver. Some like they make a specific screwdriver head, like a whole screwdriver for it. But if you want to do like the multi-tool like I do, you can just grab them all. I'm not gonna hold it because I have to hold this one up. I'll just do this one kind of off screen. These ones. But you know which one I'm doing. I'm starting on the back of it. It's just because the PS4 has to be straight up and down for this. And I really don't want to drop them. So, but you can see, I'm taking them out. And I'm going to put mine up here where my drink cozy is. Which reminds me, I think I left my drink in the freezer. I need to go get that before it freezes. So I bet by the end of this video it'll freeze before I go and get it. So I'll probably pause here in a second and we'll go and get my drink so it doesn't freeze. Actually, I should put these screws in. These are the only black screws on the PS4. All the rest of the ones that you're going to pull out are going to be silver. So it's easy to remember that these ones, you can just literally put these ones off to the side and know that these ones go on last. So, okay, so just to show real quick, all I did right now is I took out the 4 screws, one there, one there, one there, one here, one there, and one over there. So there's 4. And I'll be back in 1 second. Alright, so I got back, my drink did not freeze, and it's the best drink in the world, and I'll let you guys guess in the comments which drink that is. Though I think you know. Alright, so we got the back of it off, and we got the screws out of the back of it. The thing that's glowing right here, that's the motherboard. It's green, so that's why it's clashing with the chroma key of my camera. Because I usually use the camera for streaming. So, now, you can take out the bottom of this. The top is secured by this screw right here and the one right here. So that when you're putting this back together, I'll let you guys see real quick. So the one here and the one here are holding down this top plate. So you can't pull this top plate off. However, the bottom is not secured, and it's actually, the bottom is easy to just pull off. It's actually, I think, the easier of the two to pull off. All you have to do is just give it a little tug on like the corners, and I'll show it coming off here real quick. All I do is pull up on like the edges right here, and then just pull it up, and it comes right off. And that's it. Man, it does not like the motherboard. It's cool that it does a little black graphic though, I like that. So you see mine's like not dirty. There's not really getting, I haven't been using my PS4 that much honestly lately. So it's not, I really don't have a reason to clean mine. You can see my fan is pretty clean. This is what you really got to pay attention to because you don't want anything, this is your outtake fan, so you want to make sure that's clean. So here, and then there's a, don't mind the tape, that's just to hold down the video thing. My PS4 is kind of ghetto-rigged. So there's a outtake fan right here, but it blows into the power supply right here, and that goes out the back of the PS4 right here. So all that right there all has to be perfectly clean, because if you have any that, you're gonna have your fan blowing like an air jet engine, which mine was doing before. So make sure you definitely get that taken care of. I don't think, from thinking, like looking about it right now, if you're just talking about cleaning the PS4, you really don't have to take out the top, unless you're gonna take the entire thing apart. Because really, you can clean it from here, if you just need to do, like, small, easy cleaning and whatnot. So, I would recommend, if you're cleaning this thing out, we're going to take the power supply out next. If you look over here. So there's a screw here, it has these little things on it. There's one there. There's a screw here, and there's a screw on the top, and then there's 2 screws on the bottom over here, which I'll pull the PS4 up a little bit so you guys can see. There's one here, and there's one there. So there's 5 screws in total hanging it down. I'll pull this out too. This is your disk drive. My disk drive is kind of screwed up on mine, so I have tape holding in my ribbon wire for it. Otherwise it wouldn't hold it in, and it doesn't detect it. So I kind of screwed mine up, but what you're supposed to do if you're taking this ribbon wire out is supposed to push down this metal thing, and you can pull the wire out, or pull the ribbon out. I didn't do that, I broke mine. But holding it down with tape, it actually stays in there and it doesn't have any problems. So anyway, we're just gonna ignore that for now. So with our screwdriver, we're gonna take out, since I still have the security bit on, we're gonna take 1 and 2 and 3 out, because these ones are all the ones with the arrows, the top here, the one at the bottom here, and the one in the back here are all security ones. So I'll take those out. Take out the ones you guys can see first. These ones come out really easy. They're not super long or anything like that. They're little screws, so you guys can see. So we'll take this out, so you can see how long these screws are. They're not super long. They're little tiny screws. So we got 1, 2, and 3. I guess if you're not taking the whole PS4 apart, you really don't need to take out the disk drive either. Take the hardware drive. Alright, so now we only have this one here and the one on the top there, but those are Phillips head screws. So you will need a Phillips head for these. Which, I have a different bit here. So this one right here. We can take out the other drive. These ones can take a little bit of force. These are long screws, these ones are. And I've taken mine in and out of the PS4 more than a few times. So let me pull this down so you can see. So, these are real long screws that go pretty much through the entire motherboard. They go through the whole thing, pretty much. So you just pull up, and you can see how long the screws are. So, these ones are kind of easy to know, like, they go in the power supply. They're big, long, damn screws. So we'll do the other one down here in the bottom here. These ones can kind of be a little bit more forceful on. You don't really have to worry about breaking any of these screws off. I never had a problem with any of the screws. If the ripping cable, you gotta kind of be careful because of the problem I mentioned before where I broke mine. But the screws are pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory to take out. So we got the other one here. So those two. Now, the power supply can be a little pain in the butt to get out sometimes. It doesn't like to come straight out or anything like that. This one can be what it's called, like a little trial and error to get it out. Put it right up here so you guys can see. Main thing you gotta know is that there's a wire over here. It's kind of hard to see it. It's right on the end right here. There's a cable connecting down to the motherboard underneath. So you can't just pull the thing straight up. You have to pull it kind of like more to the left when you're pulling it up if you're holding it this way. But where the wire is, you don't want to yank it out. Because if you do, you can damage the cable, and that's no good. So, like I said, this is a little tricky getting this one out. I might have a little bit of trouble with this. I always seem to have a little bit of an issue. It's funny because it goes right back in really easy. But getting it to come out is not the easiest thing in the world. I always seem to hang up a little bit somewhere in here. Like, I can yank half of this thing straight up, and the other half doesn't like to come out. So, just keep wiggling with it a little bit and pulling on it, and eventually it will come out. Now, I'm turning it to the side so you guys can see this. Hopefully I can see it before that you see it. But if you look at right there, there's a cable hanging onto the board right there. Don't ever pull by the wires trying to pull this thing up or you'll damage the wires. You want to pull by the little piece around it. Or you can just do what I did and just pull it just popped out. But this little cable right here, you don't want to damage that. Damage that and then you don't got no damn power supply. So, this is your power unit. Take this thing outside. You can see a big open vent right here. Or a big, that blow all this thing out. Canned air or air compressor, I'd recommend. Anything with a lot of power of wind, you know, blow it out. And then you're down to your unit here. This you don't really need to pull out if you're just cleaning. But like I said, this is your fan. And then this thing right here is your heat sink. If you pull it up, this is what you want to make sure you can see all the way through. You can see all the little thread marks, or all the little slots on it. That all has to be clean. You definitely don't want any hair or anything like that. It depends on how many pets you have, I would say. If you have a lot of pets and your PS4 is in range of them, then you're going to have more chance of hair getting into it. So, make sure this is all clean. Make sure your power supply is all clean. And then, what I would recommend for the fan here, I had a lot of dirt on all the blades of my fan, so even using like air compressor or a can of air, it's hard to get all the dust that's in this fan, hard to get it out of it. So what I would recommend to do is take Q-tips and then just go in between all the little blades on here. It's really tedious, but it honestly doesn't take that long. So cleaning this whole thing out will greatly improve your air circulation, I would say. And that's pretty much it. That's all you really have to do to get a good clean on the PS4. If you're doing if you want to do a full overhaul of it, you take, this out, you take your CD drive out, go all the way down to the motherboard itself, take off the front and whatnot, and you have to take the entire thing apart pretty much. I've only ever done that once, and I've had the PS4 since launch date. So I wouldn't honestly recommend doing it if it's not, if it's not like a huge issue. Uh, if you're having a lot of overheating issues, I would say you could do it. But if you keep this fan clean and you keep the heatsink clean here, you're pretty much golden. And then once you're all done with like cleaning everything up, all you gotta do is just put everything back together. So putting it back together, there's two prongs sticking up here that come from the motherboard, and you gotta make sure you put this the little thing we pulled out earlier for the power supply. You gotta push that back into the board, or you'll be having issues with your power supply. So we'll put this back in here. If I can get it back in there. It's not wanting to go back in. Okay, there we go. So that, and then there's little slots on the left side of this board. You'll be able to feel it when you let it go back in. But literally the power supply just goes back in like that. Push down until it clicks really, like that. And it's back in. So now all you gotta do is put all the screws back in and put the board back together, or put it all back together. I would say if you wanted to estimate how long this would like all take under normal circumstances, it takes about an hour. It just depends on how familiar you are with putting things back together, or how much time you've had with stuff. It definitely gets easier the more you do it. I remember the first time I did it took a while, but like nowadays it's a little bit faster to go through. Why is that not going in? Is it not all the way down? No, I'm just... What the? What is going on? What in the world? That's so weird. Huh, I don't know what's going on there. Will these ones ever go back in? Let's see if these go back in right. Oh, I'm using the wrong head for it. That's why it's not going in right. I got you now. Okay, so it helps when you actually use the right head on the screws you're trying to put into. I'm sitting here trying to use the Phillips head to put these security screws back in, and no wonder it's not wanting to go back in, because it's not the right head on the screw. I bet it goes back in real easy now. Oh, that one was in. Huh. I'm just sitting there wondering what the hell I'm doing wrong here. And even doing things perfect, you always seem to have issues with stuff, so. I mean, that's really all you gotta do. Just take your time. Make sure all these screws are all tight when you put them back in too, because you want to make sure you don't have anything loose. And then what I do, just put the back of it on, which I put over here. This is pretty easy to put back on. Most of this stuff just clicks back into place. So you put this on. Put the front on first, and then just push it down, and it'll click back on, and that's it. So now we put the little black screws back in. It doesn't matter if you don't put the hard drive back in. You can always put that on without having the bottom on. So now we're just going to put these little screws back in the back of it. You guys can't really see it. I'm doing the, if I could adjust the camera here. Yeah, you can see the back of the board right there. Or the back of the PS4, I should say. So we're just putting the screws in the back of it, secure the back of it to it again. You don't even have to take all these out if you're not taking the top of it off too, because there's one that secures the top end, there's 3 on the bottom, so the one on the top I didn't really need to take out, but if you're removing the top of the PS4 though, it's a little bit more of a trick than the bottom. The bottom comes off pretty easily, but the top of the PS4 on the other hand, it's one of the things I would say is not the easiest thing to do. You really have to yank on it to get it to come out, so a little more troublesome I would say than the bottom of the PS4. So that's all you do is you put these all back in. And if you did everything right, then that's all you gotta do to clean your PS4. Like I said, it doesn't take all that long. It can really make a big difference too. If you're getting to the point like where your PS4 is turning into a jet engine every time you're using it, and like just doing these simple steps doesn't seem to fix it. I never even took out the hard drive when I took it out before either. When I took the screw out, it's still in here. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive in mine, my PS4. So, but like I said, if it's becoming a jet engine when you're turning your PS4 on, then you might want to consider looking in how to clean it like this, or there are plenty of videos online that show you how to do a full breakdown of the video of it. Replacing thermal paste, still, it's not really a big deal. You just have to order it online and then take your time and watch videos on how to do it. Most of the stuff is pretty easy. It's pretty self-explanatory how you do it, and all you have to do is just watch any number of videos and they'll show you how to do it. And I mean, that's really it. Like, put all the PS4 back together. You know, all you do is just plug it back in, and that's it. It's not too complicated, but it can be a little pain sometimes. So, and that's really how you do, you know, put the PS4 together. I'd like to start doing, I have some older games I've beat on stream that I think I would like to start doing, maybe doing like gameplays of like, getting the trophies, like getting all the trophies of the game, platinum the games out. What do you guys think about that? Would you like me to start doing videos on YouTube? So I could be streaming. My normal times is usually on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday around 9 p.m. East. But I think on days off that I would like to do some recording of me going after trophies on games that I've beaten already on stream. Like, Persona has been one of my games I've wanted to play through and beat, like get everything on for a while now. I'm not really sure if I feel like streaming the entire game again though, because of how long that game is. Even with like being able to know where everything is and whatnot. But I have things like Horizon Zero Dawn, and I got probably at least 3 or 4 more. Neo I think is one of them as well that I never platinumed. That I'd like to go through and try to, you know, get the platinum on all of them. So what do you guys think? So let me know what you think about that, and if I decide to do it, then, or if, based on what you guys say, then maybe I'll do it. But I think it'd be fun. So, but alright, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, subscribe and like the video, and maybe you'll see more. Have a good one. Bye.